How's it going, everyone? And if Grand Theft Auto 6 actually releases in 2026, I think everyone can agree it is going to be by far the biggest game of 2026. I can come on here and do videos and talk about how I personally am more excited for Resident Evil Requiem, how I personally am more excited for Forza Horizon 6 because they are more games up my alley. However, objectively speaking, in terms of the totality of the gaming community, and by the time we actually get to the release of GTA 6, if it comes out this year, it's gonna be the biggest game of 2026. The question still remains, will it be out this year? We still don't know, and Jason Schreier spoke a little bit about this and also spoke a little bit on this game's release, and I've been talking about this a little bit as well on this channel, looking at it from the angle of how big Grand Theft Auto 6 will be to PlayStation in particular, and this is what happens when you don't have a direct competitor. You kind of just luck in when a gargantuan game is coming out, and yeah, it's coming out on Xbox, but nobody is buying an Xbox anymore. That essentially what this game is going to offer to PlayStation and Sony is what literally their exclusives would offer them as well, which I find rather incredible that this is happening. And I don't know if there's a deal between Rockstar and PlayStation, but PlayStation is absolutely going to be the beneficiary of the current climate of the gaming industry and the gaming landscape, where they don't have direct head-to-head competition, which is incredible for them. I would still be of the mindset that in the long term it's going to be bad for the consumer when PlayStation can just run around unchecked, but nonetheless, we'll talk about that at the end of this video. But when we talk about GTA 6, the first thing that anybody is going to talk about is that release date and the release window. Is it going to be coming out in November 2026? It was supposed to come out in 2025, then it was pushed to May of 2026, now it's November of 2026, and it looks like that might not be locked in place either. The last I heard, it was still not content complete, said Jason Schreier. That is to say, people were still finishing things up, still finalizing levels and missions and seeing what is going to make it into the game. He continued, it's really hard to say right now, and I don't think anyone at Rockstar can tell you with 100% certainty that they will make it out in November. People feel like this might be a little bit more solid, and the reality of the situation when it comes to GTA 6, based on everything that we have been hearing about the game, it's that Rockstar is going to settle for nothing less than perfection, and how Take-Two, their stock lives and dies with this game, and it's going to be a game that they're going to pour everything into and make sure it's perfect. Guess what? That is completely different than pretty much every other developer and publisher on the planet. Damn near every other publisher and developer on the planet. A lot of major games come out, it's fine if there's a couple bugs here and there, it's fine if there are some performance hiccups, it's fine if this is wrong with the game or that is wrong with the game, because we're gonna turn around and we're gonna improve the game over time. And how many times have we seen that? Game comes out 3 months after release, 6 months after release, people are talking about, wow, this game's actually really good now, they fixed everything up. I mean, you know, I love Cyberpunk 2077, but that's probably the most notorious example of it, and most games don't get that bad and make that big of a turnaround, but you get the idea. Rockstar is gonna approach this in a different way, where if it's not perfect, they're gonna delay the game. This isn't gonna be a case where Ubisoft has to get a certain game out in a certain window so they can meet their financial marks, etc., etc. I'm sure Rockstar hitting certain financial marks, that's a big deal for them, but I think a bigger deal for them is to make sure that their first game in damn near a decade, and a game that is going to be one of, if not the biggest video games of all time. We are a prisoner of the moment a lot of the times. We are hyperbolic take machines a lot of the time. Just everybody that makes content. However, in the case of GTA 6, even if I personally say, you know, it's not for me, it's not the biggest game to me, I understand by the time we get to GTA 6's release, it will be a megaton of a release. And even if it gets delayed again, people are gonna start saying, oh my god, it's never gonna happen, XYZ. Look, yeah, people are gonna say that if it gets delayed into, let's say, May of 2027, and they have to wait another 6 months, and people are just gonna start clowning on it and be like, this game is never gonna come out. But by the time we actually get to the release date of the game, or the week of the release, that hype is gonna circle back. I am a little worried about the case of GTA 6, and this is coming from every game that is immensely hyped, that has a gargantuan amount of hype. Will it actually be able to live up to it? Not to say it's gonna be a bad game. Rockstar doesn't put out bad games, I don't believe. Even games that I personally don't love, Rockstar generally puts out really great games. And Red Dead Redemption 2, their last game, is one of my favorite video games of all time. However, when excitement and anticipation is so high, like it is gonna be with Grand Theft Auto 6, it comes to a point that there's almost nothing a game can do to live up to those expectations. I always say it when games are immensely hyped up. Guys, the game is not gonna fix your life. The game is not gonna save a dying marriage. It's not gonna get you out of financial turmoil. It's not gonna do this, that, or the other. It is a video game at the end of the day, and it's, I feel like, important to keep that in mind. I love video games, love talking about them. It's one of the most important things in my life, but at the end of the day, they are video games. They're not gonna fix disastrous issues in anyone's life. And I think sometimes, you know, and I even saw this with Cyberpunk, and I totally agree that Cyberpunk was disappointing, but I just feel like some people were expecting the second coming with that game, and it's like, dude, again, it's a video game. So I would just think, yes, be excited for the game, but realize even if it's gonna push the boundaries in a lot of ways of video games, ultimately, it still ends with, it's a video game, so just something to be mindful of. But I do think when the game comes out, it's gonna be absolutely massive. And another layer to this is Grand Theft Auto 6 has kind of ended up being a pseudo PlayStation exclusive, and Schreier noted this: Wolverine is almost certainly going to come out in September or October. Xbox is almost a non-factor. I'm sure they'll sell millions on Xbox, but PlayStation is the main platform, so almost in some way it's kind of like a PlayStation exclusive, that most of the sales will be on PlayStation and it'll sell a lot of PS5s alongside it. So I suspect that Sony is planning its entire calendar around GTA and will not release anything within the blast zone. I think this idea of the blast zone of GTA 6 is a little bit overstated. Like, certainly, I would not release a big open world game the same day as GTA, but there's a couple of factors to assess there. First of all, if you were a developer that's putting a game out on PC, I think there's a lot of value in going head-to-head with GTA 6, because you will create that allure of, oh, this guy's got balls, this dude's got balls, by releasing this game on the same day as GTA. And if it's out on PC, a lot of the PC audience is just going to gravitate to that game. Now, I don't think I would put out a big AAA title on PC that day, but I just offer that to you guys, and I think Devolver actually said something about doing that. But circling back to this point, this is so massive for PlayStation because I would say that given how the landscape is right now, I think GTA 6 being on Xbox and not on PC is far better than PlayStation in the case of GTA than GTA being on PC day one and PlayStation and not on Xbox. And let me explain why. Xbox at this stage of the game is pretty much a non-factor. The Xbox console is just getting more and more expensive, and Xbox, for the most part, is kind of cooked. It's not something I want, but it's something we kind of have to expect, that the console isn't a direct competitor to PlayStation. On top of that, I don't think there are a lot of games that are true system sellers. I don't think Soros for the PC guys, that's gonna be a true system seller for them. A lot of the times, I don't think Horizon is a system seller. God of War is the one PlayStation IP where I think that's as close to a system seller as you're gonna get. I think Last of Us was that at one point. I don't think Intergalactic is gonna be that. Really, I don't think PlayStation this generation has had a lot of games that have been true system sellers. I think God of War and Spider-Man 2 would be the closest, and really it is kind of the conglomeration of all of those games, having all of them together, that is what draws people in. But a lot of the times you do need that one killer app that's like, oh, that's a big game to draw people in, and I would say God of War is like that. God of War was a cross-gen game, and Spider-Man Spider-Man 2, I would say, was as close to that as you're gonna get. But Spider-Man 2 came out all the way back in 2023. I don't think you got one in 2024 as much as people like Astrobot. I don't think Ghost of Yote was that. I don't think Saros is that. I do think Wolverine, to an extent, is that. And then also, having Wolverine and GTA 6 essentially being a 1-2 punch. If Wolverine comes out in September and GTA 6 comes out in November, game, set, match, that is the biggest, by far, the biggest stretch of game releases the PlayStation 5 would have in terms of selling new consoles this entire generation. It's not even close. I guess maybe you can say an argument, oh, the launch happened, and the launch, like, people are just drawn into a console's launch, but in terms of post-launch of games coming out, Wolverine and GTA 6 coming out back-to-back, I believe those two games are big enough that would get new people to actually buy PlayStation 5s. That would get some of the PC players that at this point, they know that Wolverine and GTA would come out on PC on a delay. They would buy a PlayStation 5 as well. Xbox is kind of out of the game, and you're talking about new people as well that might just want to play video games. They might want to get a new console. Are you kidding me? During the holidays, you see Wolverine and GTA 6 getting promoted. That is a monster holiday season for PlayStation being set up. Far bigger than any of the years I believe we've seen previously. Now, the PlayStation 5 has already been out for so many years and it's already sold so many units, but in terms of getting the PS5 to a new milestone, it is Wolverine and GTA 6 coming out, and less so Wolverine. I don't want to put Wolverine at the same level of GTA. Let's be honest here, Wolverine is not at that level, but it's still a damn big game, and I think that acts as such a great complementary game for the holidays to GTA as well. And I hate saying complimentary because I'm far more excited for Wolverine than I am GTA, but let's just keep it 100. GTA is the far bigger game, but that would be, you know, for all of the people that say there's no reason to upgrade to the PlayStation 5, that the PlayStation 5 is a disappointment, I think seeing those two games back to back would get people like, whoa. And I'm talking about the people also that don't have a PS5. And maybe the Xbox guys that are left, Wolverine would be enough, but less so that. I think for the new people, and even that is one of those cases that, look, I don't think exclusives do a lot for PC players jumping on over to PlayStation 5. I think PC players kind of just stick to PC and they'll buy the games or they'll check the games out when they come out on delay and on sale, etc., etc. Obviously, they'll buy big games day one, but I don't think there's a lot you can do to swing them over to consoles. In the case of Wolverine and GTA, that's like the biggest opportunity that you would have to swing them into that ecosystem. And ultimately, again, the games will come out on PC, but not having those on day one and 2026 being focused around those two titles for PlayStation, that's huge for them. That is absolutely massive, and that's something I was talking about last year as well, when we realized, oh, Wolverine's coming out in the fall. GTA is coming out in the fall. Just think about that for a second. Put two and two together. That's the biggest opportunity they're gonna have to push a lot of PS5 consoles, and in fact, I could see a lot of people ending up upgrading from the base console to the PS5 Pro as well, if those two games come out, you know, relatively close to each other. It's really GTA more than Wolverine, like I said, but Wolverine, I think, certainly helps, and for me, it's the game that I'm personally more excited for. So I just gave you guys 3 games I'm more excited for than GTA, but you gotta keep it real. You gotta think about the greater picture, and GTA is going to be the biggest video game launch whenever it does come out. Now, Jason Schreier did post a follow-up, I guess you would say post since it's on Blue Sky, responding to some of the articles and whatnot, talking about the game potentially being delayed. Schreier noted, "This is a complete misunderstanding of what I said, which is that I wouldn't be shocked if GTA 6 does come out this fall following the same delay pattern as RDR2. Of course, another delay is possible. It's a video game, but this blog post is very misleading. Just reach out to me. It's not hard." I think, you know, whenever you can incite some, oh my god, GTA 6 is getting delayed, because people at this point are just going to see it with a lot of validity, because generally speaking, past this prologue, and how many times has GTA 6 been delayed? Now, Red Dead 2 also had the same delay structure where it was supposed to come out in 2017, I want to say it was, then it got delayed into 2018, and Rockstar is striving for perfection, and if they deem a game that they're about to put out has some issues that will take it away from perfection, they will delay the game game. Like I said, they're not like a lot of other studios that will ultimately just push out a game that does have a lot of bugs. They're not Ubisoft in that case. Sure, a big open world game, you're generally gonna have some bugs that were a bit of an oversight, but you look at some of the Ubisoft games that come out like actually broken, I don't think Rockstar wants to do that in the sense of a game that has a lot of technical issues, and with a gargantuan game like GTA 6, a lot of things can be a slight oversight, but let's just hope it comes out in the fall because it would be massive, just as a gigantic game. And for what it would do for PlayStation, I'm sure they want it to come out this year, but ultimately it is a situation of when it's out that week of, even if if it gets delayed again and people are like, oh my god, I'm losing all my hype for GTA 6, GTA 6 just, I'm not excited anymore. Bro, week of release, everybody's gonna be excited for the game, and that's generally what happens with these titles. Yes, when GTA 6 gets a big updated trailer, it'll get a lot of traction on social media, but ultimately when it comes to gaming, it's the final couple of weeks leading up to release that you will build up the hype and anticipation, then suddenly everybody starts talking about it, and when the game is actually within reach, that's when it takes over the gaming sphere. And once the game comes out, reviews get posted, I'm sure it'll do well. You know, it's being streamed everywhere, so on and so forth. Like, the hype is not gonna go away for the game. I do think the issue ultimately is gonna be the hype is so extraordinary that ultimately it's a video game and it's not gonna save your life in a lot of regards. So it is what it is. But that is going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.